I went back to see how it's actually like for free-to-play players. I start in a brand new server, make my guy, and spawn in Exile's Reach, the intended spawn for new players. Then I was forced to learn the basic controls, but I played along. While I was doing that, I wanted to fix up my UI, so I pressed escape, but realized you could not use the UI edit mode. I think this is very dumb, and new players should be able to use this from the start. Otherwise, they will have to download add-ons, which is bad for the game. I also had to rebind all my keys using the old manual method inside the options. I pushed on, continuing doing quests and killing some boars, and then went over to some ogre castle where I had to kill some more mobs and do a basic dungeon where I had to kill a dragon. I had completed Exile's Reach in about an hour of gameplay, which brings me to the second problem with a new player experience. You will literally never see another player. Every zone is empty. It is very lonely. The only person I saw leveling up was some guy using heirlooms speeding through the starter zone. So if you already forgot, WoW is an MMO, so where are all the players? Imagine being a new player, joining this multiplayer game, and you see no one. That would be very off-putting. And don't forget, Blizzard literally has phasing technology, which can bring players from other servers into yours so the game feels more crowded. If you simply use Classic as a comparison, I would rather stand in a queue for a rare than to see no other player, because then it feels like an actual MMO. I left Exile's Reach, where I got to Stormwind, the big city, with the same problem, because everyone is in the current expansion capital. Simply put everything in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, so you centralize the player base in one city, so the game feels more alive, and new players will actually see the sweats. This is a concept they understood 20 years ago, but somehow forgot.
We also have to give players something to aspire to. There's a lot to be said for that moment when you're sitting in Orgrimmar as a newbie and somebody runs through in like all raid gear and you're like, wow, that guy must be so powerful. Or eBay or something.
To follow this dwarf to my class trainer, even though you will never talk to the class trainer ever again. After selecting my spec, I then got a main story quest immediately, telling me I need to talk to the king of Stormwind. So in less than an hour, I went from some random guy
Bold, new recruit,
to being DM'd by the king.
Champion, an urgent war council is underway.
champion.
I continued playing the game, and Anduin wanted me to go to Cold Terrace and start the BFA questline. I accepted and went off on this boat. And as a new player, I would have no idea who any of these people are, what they want, and why they want it. I'm just going to some random island in the sea. The story continued, and I was locked up in a cell, and with the help of another prisoner, we were able to escape. And there, I met my second player in 2 hours. I'm really getting the modern MMO feeling. We got out of the prison and killed a giant crocodile, and then took the boat over to Cold Terrace, where somehow, after escaping their prison, we were best friends once again. But we're acting like nothing happened. I talked to one of the fat people, and he sends me off on a weirdly fast boat, where there's a new zone with more story quests. But the story is not very exciting. It also didn't feel that cohesive. It felt like I was just doing random quests. I can't really see how a new player would have a good time leveling this way from level 1 to 20, and then deciding to pay $50 for expansion and $12 sub each month, or about $60. I thought the intro quest was cool and fun, but all of these quests are a simple fetch quest and kill quest, without a real purpose. And I really think they should add a narration add-on like they have in Classic WoW.
We were ready to toss you into the fire with the others, but it looks like you made it.
Because as a new player, I don't want to read 20 books worth of quest take. They literally got the take for free. They could copy-paste the add-on into the real game. It would cost them $0. But I continued playing, where I needed to kill some random monster women, infiltrate some pirates, and stop a siege at a castle. And presented another big problem with the free-to-play experience. There is no sense of progress. Every mob, every NPC, every quest, every item will scale up to your level. Every time you level up, you will not become comparatively stronger, you will stay at the exact same power level as before. And not to sound like a broken record, but if we simply compare this to Classic, where you level up, get better gear, and move zone to zone, and you can feel your character getting stronger because you can go back to earlier places and see how the mobs you fought were super hard earlier are now trivial. Every mob feels just the same and frankly very boring, and it feels like you're running on an infinite treadmill. You're moving your legs, but you're still in the same place. Now when I'm level 20, I have two roads to go down. A, buy a sub in the game for $60. Or continue playing free to play, where you have no raids, no Mythic Plus, only BFA normal dungeons. If you try PvP, you will have to queue for 5 hours and then get killed by level 20 twink with the most optimal possible armor in the game. They will never actually play the real game and they will just get a bad first impression. So to sum everything up in the free version, you will not see another player for your entire gameplay, and there's no sign of progress due to excessive scaling, and worst of all, you're not subscribed to Lufana.